My whole thing is when somebody tell you who they are, believe them. If it like Stephen A. always say, if it talk like a duck and it quack like a duck, it ain't a goddamn mongoose. This man has, he's adopted, if whether he's a racist or not, I can't really say. I don't know the guy. He hasn't said anything that was outlandishly, blatantly racist, but he has alluded to and he's parroted racist ideals. He's been in the company of racists, and with that in mind, when he doesn't have any principles, he's obviously an immoral guy, an immoral man. He's not tethered to any philosophy around Republican principles. And again, this is not a Republican bashing segment. This is a MAGA bashing segment. They're different. Then how can you not think that what his presidency is about, Project 2025 and whatever, is around making life miserable for black folks in whatever way, economically, politically.
So if you directly attacking it, getting rid of it completely, then your objective must mean that you don't want a level
of diversity.
Right. You don't want a level.
Right.
And inclusiveness.
Right. You don't. What else, what other reason would it be? So I just try to look at it in a more simplistic way. You know, did it have an honest purpose? Right? Yeah, it did. It had an honest purpose. Was it a need? Yes, it was most definitely a need. If you look through history, it was definitely a need. So if it had an honest purpose, if it was looked at as if it was a good plan and it was actually doing positive things with its intent, then why do we need it removed from a walk of life that you're trying to have? I just look at it like that. Simple to me.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to diversity, and see, the dog whistle part of it for UG, for a lot of MAGA people, I'm going to keep it to them. I was about to say white people, but MAGA people, you know what I'm saying? Because they feel it's about just minorities. Like, that shit's about us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You giving us something.
Black and brown.
Right, you giving us something. You're not giving me anything. Basically, you're just leveling the playing field to make sure that I'm included as well, whether it be about race, age, you know what I'm saying, and working for the same company for a long time, you know what I'm saying? Gender, age diversity, ethnic diversity. It was about all that, all the classes we had to go to and the trainings we had to do in that
multi-generational networks.
Right, all of that, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just about black and brown people, you know what I'm saying? It was just making sure everybody was included at all levels, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, I don't see, and you're fighting it so hard, to me, it's just obvious. It means you don't want that. You want it to be an all boys club, your all white old boys club. You like the status quo, and that's the way you want it to remain. It's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
You want the advantage,
right?
Just like that, and they, you know, like they've taken shots and have been able to weaken affirmative action.
Right. I've always said with that whole "Make America Great" thing, you could just slide the word "white" in there,
right?
And that's really what
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just slide it in there.
Man. It is.
Slide that word right there instead of "great" and put "white."
It is.
That's that's what they want.
They don't want to see.
They want the 40s, 50s, and 60s back. You know what I'm saying?
They don't want to have to deal with the history of this country.
Right.
But
the crazy part is they've turned it where any black person who gets something now, you know what I'm saying, is a DEI hire. Right. When you hiring unqualified people to run this country right now.
Exactly. Totally unqualified.
You see they rammed it through last night, your boy for Secretary of Defense. Hegzith or whatever. I'm like, this dude is not even qualified, but you putting him in charge of defense for this nation. Unqualified, from what I hear, drunkard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sexual offender, beat his wife.
Alleged sexual abuse. I'm like, come on, dog.
I think I put this on Facebook. Like, the dude was a 04 in the military, in the National Guard.
Right.
When the highest you can be is an 010.
Right.
And then,
what kind of sense that make?
And with these type of moves that he continually makes, you got to fast forward to the question of why.
Why?
See, that's the thing that's getting left out of all of this. Nobody, well, not nobody, but none of his people that voted for him, right? His followers, the politicians with their hands
that's behind him.
That's all with him.
The oligarchs,
no matter what he do,
the billionaire tech,
no matter
his
what
billionaire
he does,
friends.
They never want to discuss the why. You can look at all these political shows when they're being asked real questions and how they avoid it and avoid it and avoid it and avoid it. Step over it. Listen, when you put somebody unqualified at the head of defense, our country's defense, then you are putting us at risk. In my belief, and this is just me, my belief is that he's doing this because he wants somebody in there like Jerry Jones. He wants somebody in there that's going to be a yes man.
Exactly.
Oh, we know that. Fight. Oh, yeah, we know that.
He wants his war because, again, a dictator, that's one thing they got to have on their list of things to do is a war. They got to have their war. So if you hire this zipperhead Fred type of cat, then he's more likely to.
He wants his military parade.
There you go.
Because he tried to do that. It was a lot of shit, and I hope that people understand when I say this. It was a lot of shit that folks was able to stop from happening in that first presidency. A lot of shit. Y'all had to really go back and look and see other things that they say that the previous defense secretary, the previous joint chief of staff, refused to do. You know what I'm saying? He's putting people in place.
That's what
Project 2025 is all about.
He was threatening other countries in public. We'll send missiles over there as fast as such and such and such. We'll blow them off. Man, he was saying crazy.
Like I said, man, I just can't believe they really confirmed that dude. And only 3.
You can't believe it?
I thought 2 more would come to the table to stop it. I thought they would get the votes to kind of stop it.
Because
once Mitch McConnell said no, I said, okay, maybe he can drag a couple more. He did get 2 other people to say no, but that wasn't enough. I was shocked that they let this idiot go through. I said, okay, it's got to be 2 more Republicans who are like, okay,
they lock
no.
in step with this dude, man. Mitch McConnell has kind of broken, but he's still, because he's so addicted to power, there's only so much that he's going to
be willing to do.
Be willing to buck against.
And like the ICE, what do you think about the ICE raids that started in some cities?
I have no sympathy for those being deported. I'm sorry. Hey, because you guys voted for this. He said it intentionally, what he was going to do. This was not a false flag conversation, so to speak. It's not a misdirection. This was everything he said he was going to do. From the moment he came down the mud glass elevator, that escalator, this is what I want. And it's no surprise. So the very people that he's targeting, a good percentage of them, because we don't want to say all immigrants are of Latin descent or are from Mexico or Panama or Guatemala or wherever other quote unquote shithole country.
The things I read, there was about 45% that he got, which is way up.
Way up. Way up than what has historically been.
I just don't understand how he convinced y'all to vote against your own self-interest.
Listen,
I don't understand it.
It's been explained on a lot of shows that I watch, and it's the same explanation kept coming out of all of them is they're here for better than where they were, but they immediately, just like if you you remember how remember when the light skinned dude was in, it was a thing back in the day. It's kind of like that. They identify
with him,
with whites,
right?
They identify with white,
right?
You know, you can go back to the white is right statement. You can go back to where the white people, they got the money, they got the credit, they got, you know what I'm saying? They got all this stuff.
And I'll let you know, viewers, let us know if we're wrong.
Associated with
Give us your opinion.
So
anybody that know, this is my whole point. You know what I'm saying?
You're welcome.
I think it was less about the economy. They believe some of them just off of interviews that I saw of the independent / quote unquote undecided voters, months prior to the election, June, July, when, you know what I'm saying, when it was coming down to who we knew was going to be in office after Biden into Kamala. All those interviews, they would say the same thing. The same DEI dog whistles that was being parroted from the far right. It was about two things. She was black. It was a black person, and it was a woman. That's my belief. I don't know this for a fact, but just the reasons that they were given were nothing policy based.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was all she's unqualified.
Right.
How?
Which was a lie.
How?
Right.
This is for even black people that would be in social media saying this shit. Of course, MAGA was right behind them, parroting everything. He said she's unqualified. She's a DEI hire. How so? What made her unqualified? As opposed to what made him unqualified? Somebody that's lied on his taxes.
He has no qualifications.
No qualifications whatsoever to be president of it. He's not qualified to run a fucking Waffle House. He's bankrupted several casinos. How the fuck you lose money in a casino? I do not know.
Me either.
And unfortunately, Democratic Party continued to attack the moral side.
Right.
Got to get off this morality. That's not going.
They don't care.